Up, y'all? Come on in. What's up, y'all? Peace, peace. What's up, y'all? Peace, peace. Y'all come on in. Peace, peace. I didn't really come to argue. I came to state the facts. People want to argue the facts. You know, people got to understand, like, what I'm stating is facts. This title is a fact. You know, people want to argue the fact. So people want to argue, not me. I'm not even an argumentative person. So if I didn't have the facts, I wouldn't even come up here. You know, so again, we are stating facts. You know, and when you want to argue facts, we know who the fool. We know who the fool is when we are stating facts. So it's a fact. You cannot sin and follow God. That's just like you living in your mama house. You can't be doing wrong. You can't be doing wrong and living in your mama house. Your mama gonna put you out. You're gonna get put out. You can't do that here. That's what the first thing your mama say. You're not gonna do that here. Well, God the same way. You're not gonna walk with God and you sin. Just ain't gonna happen. You know? Now we have been conditioned to think what? Oh man, I can sin, and God called me last night. And I was sinning. Okay. It wasn't God that called you. You know? So now we just need to be told the truth so we can walk this right path. Now, because the broad way, where everybody walking, it's easy to walk there. The narrow path, you might get a little claustrophobic. But guess what this leading to? This leading to the sea. You know, this leading to a whole bigger picture. But remember, you got to flow and trust the process. And a lot of people cannot flow and trust the process right now. It's hard for them to flow and trust the process. So they go back to walking the what? The broad road. You know? But the narrow path is for the few, y'all. It say only few find it. Last time I checked, only few find the narrow path. So why would I try to come up here and convince billions of people that I'm Christ? We only here for the few. You know, we only here for the few, y'all. And that's why we say people got to understand what government means and what a government looks like. A government is not everybody running the world. That's not a government. A government is a structure that provides things to the world. That's what a government is. It's a structure of individuals that provide resources for the people. But now we to the point out, like, I'm seeing so many, it's so crazy. You know, I was thinking about the Berlin conference, right? They had a Berlin conference and not an African leader was there. But guess what the Berlin conference was about? Taking Africa. Now, I don't think y'all understand how cold that is. I don't think we understand how deep and cold that is. When did we have a conference? When did the African nations sit down and saying, this is what we're going to do to get these results? When have all the so-called African religions, African movements have all sat down at a round table and say, this is what we're going to do to get this outcome? When did it happen? And all you hear, you not from Africa. You not from Africa. We from America. We from America. We not from Africa. Okay, we from America, now what? Okay, we from America, now what? Now what? If I say I'm from America right now what? What I'm fighting for? Land? We fighting for land? You know, when you talk about the trillion-dollar companies, they don't even invest in America. Most of your big name companies, they don't invest in America, they invest in Africa. Now what they do, they use the things that we created to invest in. Like the Chinese might come over here and buy all the beer. But they don't invest in those natural resources from the ground. They don't invest in that. America want oil from over there. They got oil here. But the majority of the oil come from what? Africa. So you talking about big companies, they don't even invest in Africa. I mean America. But that's what I'm saying. It's so much lies in the earth. That's why, like, when they talk about COINTELPRO was information to counter the truth. Everything you see, everything you know, all the information you getting is to simply counter the truth. And that's why I say you can see how if a movement right now is to go back to Africa to benefit, you know, the people, was way told before we got all this information. Once the Jews get back in their land, it's going to be peace. Until then, there's no peace. Until the Jews get back in their land. This is an old saying. So why these things have to happen? But now you got some counter information to tell us what? Oh, you ain't from Africa. You from America. And then people speak for everybody. And when I say we from Africa, I don't speak for everybody. Because if you want to say you from America, then you from America, Brandon. I'm not gonna be mad at you or dislike you because you say you from America. I'm not like that's the crazy part. People dislike you because you say you from Africa. Like what? Like, you know, so like I said, y'all, man, when I said it last night, when it's talking about the wicked in generation right now, y'all, people are pausing, man, with false information. They pausing. They pausing, y'all. You know, so right now people are really trying to stop a movement because of how they feel. You know, man, that's a sad person. That's a sad person. And like I say, it really just a few people because like I say, y'all TikTok people. In real life, y'all not out. You know, but most people that we talk to, and that's why I say now we calling out the leaders, which I always have been, but they always want to send their minions. You know, they don't never want to come. They want to go. They want to send somebody. You know, so right now, y'all, like I say, I know me personally, I'm not gonna waste time with, you know, with a lot of people I have been wasting time with. You know, we're gonna bring out the scriptures. We're gonna bring out the facts. You know, we're gonna lay the truth down. We're gonna dry up the waters, and our people gonna come to the other side. Because the truth is something no water can put out. What Bob say? No water can put out this fire. No water can put out this fire. You know, so right now, y'all, it just you know, it's a blessing for those that see in here. You know, it's actually a blessing and a curse because some people see and what? They awaken to condemnation. I'm more serious than a man that waiting on his paycheck on a Friday. I'm that kind of serious. I'm that kind of serious. You know, and I know a lot of people on TikTok playing. So when someone do come on here that's serious, and that's real. It's hard for you to distinguish because of the fake. But bless those who got the eyes to see and the ears to hear. You know, that's the it can't get no better. Can't get no better. So I'm finna post a scripture, y'all. Trying to see how many verses I'm gonna be able to give y'all. So I should be able to give y'all 3 verses. But we're gonna come out of Daniel chapter 12. Let's talk about this awakening. Let's talk about this awakening, y'all. I gotta send it to you. Well, I do got a guest on the other platform, so. I got a guest right quick, y'all, so I'll put it up after the guest. What's up? What's up? Peace, peace. What's going on? Blue. T Blue. They meant to come on. So I want to read the scripture right quick, y'all. I'm waiting for it to come up. You're going to be coming out of Daniel 12. I want to talk about this awakening that's going on. I can do that. I did send it to you. So I'm in Daniel 12, y'all. I'm in Daniel 12. Let's read right quick, y'all. Because when I talk about the 2 awakenings, I don't think y'all really hear me. So let me show y'all about the 2 awakenings, right? You got what? It says at that time. Now pay attention to it say at that time. What time? 7 AD? See, the Bible never give us a date. But we follow dates somehow. So who have given us these dates? Who has given us the dates that we follow? So it say what? At that time shall Michael stand up. Michael got legs, huh? Some people say he gonna fly down. Well, Daniel say he gonna take a stand. So somebody has to take a stand, right? Take a stand, everybody. Now, Michael is a great prince. He's not a man with wings. He's a great prince. He's not a man with wings. He's a great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. But when is this going to take place? When is this going to take place, y'all? So it says, this one is going to take place. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. So when is Michael going to stand up? In a time of trouble, such as never. So nowhere in history we have been in trouble like this. Nowhere in history we have been in these kind of conditions. Nowhere in history we never been like this, y'all. We never been subjugated like this. We never been in this, So it says, since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time, thy people shall be delivered. So when was we going to be delivered? In a time of trouble, there was never since there was a nation. We going to be delivered. Then it say what? Everyone that shall be found written in thy book, the book of life. So let's keep reading. This verse 2. This is what I pulled this verse up for. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life. It didn't say all. It says some to everlasting life. And then it say what? Some to shame. Shame on you because you don't believe the truth. Shame on you. Because it tell you, and see, this is why I tell you about the sin. It's many people who see. What? Oh yeah. But everybody don't what? Everybody don't get what? Everlasting life, which is happiness. They see, but sin don't make them happy. Sin bring them shame. Sin, the truth, brings them contempt. It don't bring them everlasting life. It brings them everlasting contempt. But they see. See, that's why I say many. It's like saying many are called. It say many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. So right now at this awakening, this so-called conscious community, many people have awakening from their sleep of the earth. But a lot of times when you awake, what do you really see? When you wake up in the morning, do you see bright sunny skies? Is it a beautiful day? Did you wake up happy this morning? Well, the conscious awakening is the same concept. Everybody wakes up. Not just a few. A few are chosen, but many of us are woke right now. And we see what's at hand. Some are joyful. They are receiving everlasting life. This is something they've been waiting on. It's something they just can't explain. But on the other hand, you have some, this brings shame to these people. And everlasting contempt. And I love how I use everlasting contempt because we're looking for everlasting life in a hocus pocus way. But what does everlasting contempt mean? If everlasting life, you think it means I'm going to live forever. No, what is everlasting contempt? The same thing as everlasting life. As long as you living, you going to have life. As long as they living, they going to always have contempt. And what? Shame. Eternal fire. So, this goes back to what I was showing y'all last night about what? The jealousy. And see, these are the detailed things or the breadcrumbs about God prophecy you gonna need to see. See, if you don't know certain things like this, you might not be like, well, God, prophecy ain't here. The first thing we're going to say, God, prophecy ain't here. Because why? We can't see. But when you accept the truth, it removes the veil. And sure enough, that prophecy is here. The prophecy is here, y'all. So right now, we must understand what's at hand. The awakening is here. Many people are awakened. Like I say, y'all, one thing about the truth, and when you really understand God is not the author of confusion, and why God is not the author of confusion, like I say, stuff become to be a different read. You know, because you will see nothing is contradiction. Nothing is tripping over another. Everything is like, damn, okay, damn. Clarity. Lies, I'm wondering. I'm just wondering. That's what the lies have you do, wondering. You know. So like I said, I want to show y'all this verse to show again. Because some people are like, man, I don't see how this gonna happen, bro. We too bad. Well, I tell you, when this take place, we was gonna be in a time of trouble such that has never been. That's when all this stuff that we read in this Bible gonna take place. That's why it didn't happen 2,000 years ago. You know, this is why it didn't happen 2,000 years ago. You get the call. You know, so right now, y'all, we must understand, you know, we must understand why these things are about to take place. And why we are saying just because it's the truth, that don't mean people gonna be happy. And if people not happy, that don't mean it ain't the truth. They just heard the truth and the truth brought them shame. They just heard the truth and it brought them everlasting contempt. But guess what? They know it was the truth because they wouldn't feel the shame and they wouldn't feel the everlasting contempt. But if you don't know this and you have the truth and you might not want to, oh, that can't be the truth because it wouldn't make him mad. It won't make him feel like he's shamed. It wouldn't, you can't say that. Because the truth is going to bring shame. It's going to bring everlasting contempt. You have to know these things. But it also going to bring what? Everlasting life. And it ain't going to bring everlasting life to everybody. You know. So again, this is the prophecy, y'all. Okay. You send it to me?
Morning.
Hold up, bro. Let me turn my volume up. What's up?
Morning.
Peace.
So, one, I don't go against the Bible or whatever. I don't debate against the Bible, anything like that. But I just want to ask a question because, one, I asked a question to one of your followers yesterday. I guess it's your father or whatever. When they were talking about nation building or whatever. I don't remember the guy's name anyway. But like I was asked this question, so since you said they say you supposed to be the leader or whatever, if you're a leader, right? It was a simple question, so I want to ask you this question. Being leading by example, do you believe in that, right?
Yeah.
So that means everything that you do is leading. What you do, you want everybody to follow, right?
Well, no, people follow what I say. You
So
know,
you saying action don't speak?
my actions speak. But like I say, when you follow the leader, you don't do everything they do. You follow the principles that they stand on. You follow the
That's
moral
action.
code. It's a moral code of conduct that I carry.
I'm gonna just say like this. It's like when
So
I have kids, right?
correct,
And I have grandkids. So some things you don't like when the baby is growing up, they don't understand your words, but they see your action.
correct. And like I say,
That's
and
why I
my
say
actions
actions
are
speak
good.
louder than words.
Correct, and my actions are good for a child.
I I ain't gonna get onto that. But anyway,
That's what I'm
like I
saying.
was
So no, speak your mind. So
the reason
basically,
I
what you're
said no,
saying, my actions, because like I said, I don't know why y'all beating around the bush.
no,
Let's go
it's not
straight
beating
to it.
around the bush because one, I respect people and I want people to respect me the same way. So it's
Okay.
not that some things you say, you trying to say it but not saying it in a way to damage a person, to disrespect a person. You know what I'm saying? I'm that type of person. I don't try to disrespect nobody, but at the same time get my point across of what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So cause we are human, we gonna
Look,
make mistakes.
correct. And I want people to understand, and that's why I come up here as a brother. Although I am who I am, I rather my brothers talk to me like a brother. And see, that's how we can't talk to one another. We in our feelings, and like especially as men, we for one thing we too emotional. If my brother got something he want to tell me, my brother should be able to walk up to me and tell me what's on his mind, and I shouldn't take it as something offensive. I mean, as something I'm offensive because my brother said something about me. We got to get out of that.
But
And
that's
like I
what I'm
said,
saying.
but I definitely respect your mind for even being that way because that shows what kind of person you is. But at the same time, I'm not that way. Like if you got something to tell me, just tell me straight up, and I'm not gonna take it and put that in an emotional ball and throw it back at you because you threw a ball at me.
Okay,
I
I'm glad you
want to
said.
know. I want to know why you saying the things you saying,
I'm
so
glad.
I
I'm
can
glad you said.
compare it to what you saying.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that because one, like I said, I don't go back and forth with the Bible. It is what it is. I know what I believe. I can't judge nobody for what they believe. But like this, what I like to see, because like you said, nation builder, but to order to build a nation, not even just a nation, to even help someone. Because in my life, I know people, God put people in your life for a reason at a certain time in a certain place. You know what I'm saying? Because why? I'm 46 years old. I know I've seen it, done it, done been there. So this is what I'm saying for as leading by example. Like like with yesterday, it was this prime example. I just asked a simple question. It wasn't even hard. It wasn't nothing with the Bible. It wasn't nothing. It was the same question I just asked you, leading by example. Because why? We have kids that listen to TikTok. We have kids that look at TikTok. Things goes on nationwide with social media. You know what I'm saying? So if you say, and I just told you, I have kids that I don't have to say a word. Babies is growing up around me. I don't have to say a word. But when they see you do something, and they see, just say, for instance, you grab a piece of paper and you just put it down, you think that baby's not going to grab it? Of course he's
Well,
going to grab it.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We both understand that, like leading by example. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
see
So the reason I'm saying this because
what's
why?
your point.
When you go off and it's not to pick at it because I had to be delivered from it myself. You know what I'm saying? When you go off in profanity words, how can you draw somebody that already gonna put a block or put a wall against somebody? Like, oh, how am I follow? If you're trying to build a nation, how am I follow something
Now,
that's
now
throwing bad words? That's
I'm gonna
throwing
tell you how
hate on somebody.
hypocritical. I'm gonna tell you how hypocritical and how brainwashed we are. How many grown ups listen to rappers?
A lot. I can't put a number on it.
Now, okay, I know you can't because it's a lot. And how many rappers use bad words? What we call bad words, right?
Oh yeah, and
And,
I
okay,
understand what
now,
you're
now
saying.
look, now look. Don't we listen and follow the rappers?
I
We
don't
let our
follow.
kids listen to them.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's called hypocritical. That's when you looking for the wrong and not what's good. Because curse words are lies. Curse words not what we call curse words. You are cursed when somebody lie to you.
So okay, I'm gonna just put
So
it like. Can I
now,
put
now
it?
hold on. Let me, because I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, those are hypocritical people. You see what I'm saying? Because at the same time, you know how many people we follow that have said bad, especially this generation. We listen to the worst of the worst. And people that's coming to y'all, and because they might have a little passion, and I'm like I say, I wasn't there. Like I say, I vouch for stuff when I'm there.
Oh
So
yeah,
somebody
I
tell
understand.
me
I
something,
understand. I know.
I can't really vouch for it. So at the same time, bro, we find every excuse not to follow something that's right. We try to find stuff to judge, and we don't judge the people we let our kids follow right now. We don't judge the stuff that's on television that we let our kids watch.
Oh, I
But we'll
stopped
judge
that. You
a
have control of
righteous
that.
movement. Hold up, but we'll judge a righteous movement that we can't find nothing wrong. But a damn cuss word or somebody probably talking to you, but everybody we follow, they cuss. Everybody.
No, I don't.
You don't cuss.
No, I don't. I've been delivered from that. I don't do that.
Okay. Well, I say, brother man, cuss words are lies. So the
You
people
said
who
cuss
say they
words
don't
are
say,
lies?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The people who say they don't say cuss words are cussing every day.
Nah.
Because cuss words are lies. They are
That
cursed. They are cursed. They like if I tell you a monster in the closet, if I tell a little child that, right? A monster in that closet, that child mind gonna be cursed because she'll never open that door. He'll never open that door because a monster is in there. Cause so his mind just got cursed by the words and the lie that I told him. It's not because if we like say you say a word like ass, that's considered a donkey. So how can you gonna say ass is a curse word?
it's been on how you use that word. You
Oh,
know what
you
I'm saying?
can't use it,
It's a way you can use it
brother
to
man.
change it to a way that how you feel.
Man, that's what I'm saying. It's a word of expression like any other word. It's not
Okay,
a cuss word. It's another word.
I get what you're saying. The reason I say that because it's like, say if you say you the king of a nation or whatever. I'm just using for example, whatever. And then like I really go back to me, that action word sticks out so bad, because if you say you king of a nation, if you can't even sit and listen to me right now on TikTok, but you getting angry and then you getting mad about what I say or how I say it, but God is patience. But you don't have no patience with me because I asked a question and you like, oh no, I ain't got time for you. I'm gonna kick you off this and that. If you do that now, what are you gonna think you're gonna do when you have a nation? Come
For
on
one
now,
thing,
make it make sense.
for one thing, a nation of people don't challenge their king.
It's not a challenge. They
That's
wasn't
why.
even
Hold
king.
up, hold up, hold up, hold up. For
They
one
was the
thing,
follower, right?
hold up. For one thing,
Make it
the
make
people.
sense.
Hold up. It's a privilege for the people to even talk to the king. Let's start this first. It's a
I don't
privilege.
want to get into the
Hold
Bible
up,
because I
hold up, hold
already
on, hold on,
know
hold
I
on, hold
don't
on.
go
Stop.
across
No,
the
no, we're
Bible.
not getting into no Bible. When can you call the president and question him?
I don't deal with
You
stuff
can't
like that.
even call the president to question him. No civilian right now can pick up the phone and be like,
Oh, I know you
hey,
can.
Trump, why you did this? Hey, Trump, why you did this? Hey, Trump, why you said this? Hey, you can't do that. You see what I'm saying? So right now,
That's
for a
why I
king,
leave it to God. I pray about it. I let God
hold on.
handle
This is
that.
what, no, because y'all be having stuff twisted. For
You
for
have
a
it
king,
twisted.
hold up, for a king to even set up here and deal with y'all with a crown of thorns on. That's why the King of Kings wear the crown of thorns. Because he have to deal with all the pokes and pricks and backstabbing of his own people. And you're going to say, we don't have patience? Especially me. Like I said, I don't know what you're talking about, but I got too much patience. That's why
I
right now,
I'm
I'm
saying
ready to
from
see
the
my patience
reactions that
off.
I had previously and seen because oh well I don't want to talk to you because you talking about this or I
Hold
done
up, brother.
seen half of it and before I
Hold
even
up,
came up here.
brother man, hold up. You say you don't argue this. I see why you say you don't argue the Bible because you just want to argue your opinion.
No, it's
So
not an
right now,
opinion.
hold up. So
It's
right
the
now,
actions.
hold up. Christ walked away from a lot of people in the Bible. Do you read the Bible?
Yes,
You
I
say
do.
you've been delivered. Did the Bible deliver you? How many people Christ walked away from in the book?
I don't know the exact number.
But he walked away from people, right?
There's some things you have to walk away from.
So what you talking about then?
What
It's
you mean? What
certain
I'm talking about?
conversations. It's certain conversations we have to walk away from.
I walked away from it. It's just that okay. it's just like I said 4 minutes ago, you have kids that watch this TikTok. That's what I'm
Man,
saying.
brother, man, hey, I'm about to do you just what you complaining about. Get you out of here.
That's what I understand. I
Just
already
what
know. You can't handle the
because
truth.
guess what? I
Like you
can't.
said, you the truth. You can't
No,
handle the
no,
truth,
no.
my boy.
What I can't handle is a man repeating himself what I already heard.
Nah, my
They
boy.
got kids watching. I know that. I got kids. So what you saying? Like people come up. That's why he say he don't want to argue the Bible, because he can't argue the Bible. He can't do that. He figured, oh, he can't beat us with the Bible. But let me come up here and talk about their character. That's why the book says what? Say whatever you want about the Son of Man, but rejection of the Holy Spirit is death. That's what the scripture said. You know, so you can say whatever you want, but this spirit that's coming from my lips, this is what you're supposed to be paying attention to. That's what you're supposed to be paying attention to. And that's why I say, like, people come up here with opinions, but when the facts come out, how many people Christ walked away from? Well, he did walk away from people. Well, a king, God is patient. Well, why Christ walked away from people is God is patient? Because you don't cast your pearls to everybody. Whoever don't believe you, dust your shoulder off, you keep going. You don't stay in the house and try to convince someone. Hey, I got a message for you. Hey, well, I really don't want to hear it, but let me question you. Man, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm gonna go down the street to somebody who want my message. Nothing is wrong with that. You know, so again, y'all, but at the same time, I see people trying to, you know, critique how certain people act. But like I say, I know how I carry myself, and that's decency and order. Every time I come up here, I'm always in decency and order. But at the same time, I am a man. You know, I'm not a robot. I'm a man. You know, and I don't shy away from that. I'm not telling you I'm an anointed man. I have been sent by God. I have been anointed by God. But at the end of the day, I am a man. You know. And that's why I don't nobody want to come up here and talk about this title. I told y'all, I ain't talking about nothing else. If it ain't nation building, we talking about this. If it ain't nation building, we talking about this. You know. And right now, everybody say they sinning, and then everybody say they born of God. I told y'all, you cannot be in your mama house and do what you want. Because your mama and your daddy going to put you out and say, not in my house. So you can't be in God's house sinning. You cannot sin in God's house. God going to put you out. Why did God kick Adam and Eve out the garden? What did they do? They sinned, so what do? They got kicked out. Why did Satan get kicked out from heaven? Satan sinned, Satan got kicked out. But you sinning and you chilling with God. I'm here to tell you, that's the biggest lie ever been told. That's the biggest lie ever been told. You know, that's the biggest lie ever been told, y'all. You not sinning in God's house. You are not sinning in God's house. Be not deceived. Be not deceived, y'all. So if everybody say Jesus came, and because Jesus came, they go down in the water and they born again, well, when they come out of that water, they shouldn't be sinning. So if you come out of that water and you sinning, then it ain't God. It's the devil. It's not God, it's the devil. And you are in sin. Like I say, y'all, I didn't write the book. I'm only here to fulfill it, though. So I'm going to bring out a scripture. I'm going to bring out a scripture right quick. You know, one of my go-to scriptures with this title. One of my go-to scriptures, y'all. 1 John chapter 3. God don't smoke because God's spirit, God's son smoke. But God don't smoke. So it says, he that committeth sin is of the devil. Did the Bible just say whoever committed sin is of the devil? Did the Bible just say that? Do the Bible really say this? Is this really in the Bible? He that committed sin is of the devil? Is this really in the Bible? Did somebody put this deal? Did the Roman Catholic Church put this in? And then it say, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of God was manifested. So what is the Son of God manifested for? To teach the Bible? And you notice the Son of God is manifested. It's not the Son of God don't come out of the sky. It's the Spirit goes in the flesh. And the flesh manifests the truth that destroys the works of the devil. That's how you get a Son of God. You get the Spirit coming upon the flesh, and the flesh manifests the truth, which is the spoken word. And what do this spoken word do? Destroy the works of the devil. But check the next verse out. Whosoever is born of God do not commit sin. Boy, I'm gonna get so tired of reading this. I know I'm gonna get tired of reading it. But guess what? I ain't gonna stop. I didn't skip no verse. That's why I put it up there. So you can start from 1. I only screenshotted 4 because that's all I can put on the screen. But you go start at 1. It says what? Whosoever is born of God, do not, I repeat, do not commit sin. Whoever is born of God, what they don't do? They don't commit sin, y'all. Not if you're born of God. I'm not Jesus. I'm the Son of God that's manifested. You say Jesus in the sky. I'm not Jesus. I'm the Son of God that's manifested. So I don't even know Jesus. You know Jesus, baby? Y'all ever seen Jesus? So it says, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of God. So if you're born of God, you can what? You cannot sin. Where my sinners, y'all? Put me a 1 in the comments if you're a sinner. Put me a 1 in the comments, y'all, if you're a sinner. Whosoever is born of God do not commit sin. So give me a 1 for my sinners, y'all. Give me 1 for my sinners. Because he that commits sin is of the devil. Who put this in the Bible, y'all? Why ain't nobody tell us this? Why ain't nobody tell us we couldn't sin? Why did they tell us we can sin and still have God in us? Why? Do anybody know why they told us that? Why did the pastor preach that you can sin and you gonna fall short, but God still gonna come to you? Jesus still gonna bless you. God still gonna bless you. Like, Why did they tell us that, y'all? Because when you know you're right, you're not going to accept wrong. When you know you're right, you're not going to accept wrong. But if you know you're wrong, you're going to accept everybody's wrongdoings. That's why everybody accept what the Pope did. They just swept on the rug. Well, shit, I ain't living good right. I ain't living good my damn self. Shit, I'm sinning. So who am I? Who am I? Well, the I am is back. The one who is without sin is here to convict the world of what? Their evil doings. And if you try to take up for the world about their evil doings, then you get in the way of what? God's judgment. There's a lot of people getting in the way of God's judgment because they're trying to protect the world and their doings. But again, this is why, this is the rebirth. This is the birth of a nation. You got to be born again. You have to be born again. They got a scripture where it says, how did that scripture go? It was on the tip of my tongue earlier. You cannot enter heaven without being born again. I don't think y'all understand that scripture. So we're gonna pull that one up. I don't think y'all understand that scripture. John, what, 3:3? 3:3? That's yeah, we gotta read that one. So I gotta pull it up, y'all. I gotta pull it up. Hold up. Let me get it. Y'all bear with me. We're going to John chapter 3. John chapter 3. So I'm gonna try to go 1, 2, 3. Let's go to John 3, y'all. Let's go to John 3. Let's go to John 3. I'll just send it to you. We finna pull. I do have a guest that's trying to come up. Zach, if you could bear with me for about 5 minutes, I'll be able to pull you up, brother. How you do this? You go up. Don't pause. Oh shit. I don't know what happened. What did I say? So let's go to John 3 right quick, y'all. This is why I say you can't be born of God and sin. But people think they already born again because they think Jesus came. So they think Jesus came, so they think they born again. But that's why I'm here to tell you, hey, don't believe that. God is here right now, so you can be born again. So let's read. Let's start at the top. It says, and there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, the ruler of the Jews. The same came to Jesus by night. So he came to Jesus by secret. That means he came in disguise. And said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God. For no man can do these miracles that thou doest except God be with him. Verse 2. I got to pull out my phone because I can't really see it now. Let me, because I can't see nothing. Verse 3. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born again. Born again, he cannot see the kingdom of heaven. So what's being told to people right now? You have to be born again to see the things that we are telling you. If you don't, you won't be you won't see it. So right now, this is how you know you are not, because everybody say they sin. So this is proof you got to be born again. Because once you're born of God, you don't commit sin. So you are born again to what? Stop sinning. You're not born again to keep sinning. That's why you born again. Again, you're not coming in Papa house sinning. You are not coming in Papa house sinning. And I'm telling you straight up, you ain't getting in the door. What they say? It ain't happening, Calvin. It ain't happening, Calvin. So, let me bring my guests up now. Thanks. Where is it written? You ain't gonna let a fight. You ain't gonna let a fake Christ tell you where it's written, huh? You know.
You want me to cam up?
Nah, what's up? What's up, brother, man? We good. That's on you.
No, but
On camera.
I just got one question.
Okay.
In the Bible it says the invisible image of God is every firstborn creation.
Hold on. Say it again.
The image of God is every firstborn creation.
Correct.
The invisible, right? So my question to you, bro, is if God come to man and we know Jesus is flesh, we know that he rode with spirit, but he flesh. So my question to you is, for every man born of God, and that man have a child, ain't that man of God?
How are you born of God?
You only born of God through the works of your forefathers.
No. You born
It's a
of
lineage.
God. You born of God by the works that you do.
Ain't no
You can't
works you can't work, bro. Ain't no works. I ain't gonna battle you, but ain't no works. My daddy did a lot of works, and he still got condemned. He worked in the community for many years. Basketball coach.
That's
30
what I'm
something
saying.
years.
So that's what I'm saying. So did your father works condemn you or did they bless you?
Shit, I'm blessed. Highly favored.
Was your father blessed?
Yeah, he was blessed.
Okay.
But at the
So
end, he got condemned. But it's like what you doing nation building. So I remember a story. We was in the Nation of Islam. My sister got a little panicky because the Hebrew Israelites ran in there. So they talking. She called my father. My father coming there. Hey man, what God say? If a man don't accept you, brush your feet and walk out. They ran off. See, my father was a high honor type of man. My daddy would walk in the room and the room would get quiet. Him and my brother had that. My twin
but
brother.
but I'm saying there's other men like that too. So like I'm trying to see like what's your standpoint of saying all that?
It's just like this, bro. Well, all I'm saying is, I'm saying the same thing you saying, but they still don't get it. See, people think, oh, I'm finna go out here and I'm finna feed the homeless. Like people go feed the homeless and on TV. That's just for the show of the eyes. But are
Correct.
you really blessing the people? You blessing the people with a meal? Because people don't even have to eat every day. And we both know that. A person could not eat and eat an orange and still they belly be full. You see what I'm saying? We live in a country where you got to consume everything. And consuming it made people blind. Because they want what they see and see not what they hear. So it's a lot of people, and I understand what you're saying. Because I've been taught this. Is like when I tell people, it's like, I'd have been through so many walks, but when I call Jesus, it's just a different hit. It's just a different feeling. And I've been to the Nation of Islam. I deal with Hebrew Israelite. I was in the streets. When I was in the streets, my daddy say, man, how you catch up on them Muslims? I say, man, they was talking the same stuff the people in the street was talking about. So I went back to the streets.
Well, and that's what, and see, truth is clarity. You know, like when you called on any name, because the scriptures say nobody knows the name. So the name is gonna come from the one who the name is given to. See, God gives that name to someone. You know,
Yeah.
now, what people don't understand, the Jesus story got a lot of truth to it, but it's just not the way we was told. You know, but we gotta, especially as our community, we gotta accept that, man. Look, Jesus ain't never done nothing for us. Like, if Jesus done something for us, we'll be in way better conditions than we in. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta get out of that syndrome and find God, which is the spirit and truth. Because that's what God gonna be. God not gonna be in alphabets, you know, and really pages on books. You know, God not gonna be in alphabets and names. You know, God gonna be in living
Yeah,
vessels.
it's always spirit and truth, because it was so funny to me. You know, I used to drive trucks. You know, and I'm going through or whatever with my wife, my child. So one day I pick up a magazine. I'm in Tulsa. They say they're gonna put a statue in the capital of Tulsa of Satan. I say, what's going on here? I got on fire. Started praying, listening, crying it out, moving in the spirit. So one day I get up. I say, man, God, I'm late. I'm gonna pray when I get in the shower. And I go in the truck stop, this shower, steady rushing because I'm late. I forget. Boom. Cause my mind on making this load on time. So now when I get the load, I run off. Damn, I forgot to, what's the name again? I got to gas the truck up. I'm in the mountains, North Carolina. I'll never forget this. So I'm riding. I say, God, I'm so sorry for not praying to you today. I don't want to argue with these people. You know how these people is. And I'm just trying to be in peace. God's spirit spoke to me so clearly and say, hey, remember that time when you was a little boy, them boys put them guns in your head? At the first church your cousin took you to, it was a basement church. I said, ooh, shit, I remember that. He said, you remember that time when them boys shot your car up? That was me. Then the third time, he said, you remember when you got trapped? And you said, man, I ain't finna run. You niggas gonna have to kill me. You ain't shoot me in my back. You gonna have to look me in my eye. And you got up out of that? Say, I've been with you so long, it's crazy. So that's the thing, that people think that really is your work. It's how you treat people. It's how you perceive people. See, me, I test every spirit by the spirit. And it's so funny that when I start walking this walk, I go in certain churches, they be hiding. Last church I went to with my wife, I found out the preacher was at me. Whoa, let me come in here. Something ain't right in here. Let me see what's going on. Let me show you who I am in God. And he snarled at me. I said, okay, thank you. Thank you for showing me who you are. Because it's easy to pull out who you is. So people really think it's their works, their money, and what they gonna do. I'm gonna say it like this. I done seen it, like they say, the church make billions of dollars in the black community. And I remember when I was a kid, we go to YMCA for $5 for a whole year.
You know,
Our
like I
kids
say,
ain't got nothing.
that's why it's important for us to build a government, bro. I think that's the most
But see,
important
it's
thing.
real nation building because I'd have been with guys where they collect the money and every angle of what I went through, but the people never see the money. You know, the church back in the days was the first bank. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, for us, yeah, that's where everything was. That's where all the revolutionary meetings, all the everything went on in the church. Teaching, everything was at the church. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, that's really what a church should be for. It shouldn't be for worship God. You don't worship God at a church. You know, you really go to church to fellowship and build a community up. You bring community ideas. You know, you might be putting money into the storehouse. That money go back to the community. So when you have a community of people and they giving that kind of support, then the community should be fixing up. You know, that's what church should be for. But it should be that bank for that community. You know, but at the same time, you know, we're not doing that. You know, everything is dealing with the government funding, and like I said, everything is about the dollar sign. Nothing is for the people no more. If it make money, it makes sense. If it's for the people, it don't make sense. You know,
This is true.
that's really what we at, man. That's why I say that's why right now what we doing, man, we try to get our brothers to really see that this is very, very important, and this is something that we need to get up and running. That's the only way to heal our people. You know,
And I'm gonna get off here once I say this. So it was like when I was with the Muslim. You know, I'm on post one day on security on one of the ministers. I ain't gonna mention his name, but it was something all about this cat all the time that I really didn't like. So we go to the barber shop, he getting his hair done, cut or whatever, and he teasing with the women. Now I see one come in, I'm looking at her hard. Man, she look good, but you know, I'm still on post, but I'm steady glancing over at her. You know, Muslims, they move their head, but he see me. So after we leave, he say, man, you talking to me, eyeballing the sisters like that. I say, bro, you in here, he and a ha-ha with him. I ain't never hear you one time tell her to come to the mosque. You trying to show your power. Bro, you ain't got no power over me. And ever since I done rolled like that, I hear things like this. He think he tough. No, I don't. I know who I am. And I know what's in me. And I know who been covering me. And this way before God showed me the secret. It's like, okay. Because I was always walking in that. My mom was always, I ain't gonna even say a Christian. My mom was always in God. And even
yeah,
when I was in the street, she was showing me all the blessings. I'm like, man. So when it was my time to get out, God started showing me. And that's what people don't understand. People think is they works. You know what I mean? It's, oh, I'm finna go do this and God gonna bless me. No, the people blessing you. It's a different from a people blessing and a God blessing. That's what they don't understand. You know, so when people around here thinking they getting blessed because they got a lot of money and all that, the Bible say your money ain't gonna save you. But it also say it can get you out of trouble. But that's
well,
through man.
they also got scripture say you gonna be redeemed without money. You know, that's
Exactly.
yeah, you're gonna be redeemed without money. So like you know, paying money for redemption or paying money to God, that's bull crap. You know, like money is for nation building. Money is for to make moves. You know, money is for trade. Money ain't for to give to God. You know, so that like I said, all these things, man, we just been lied to about, brother, man, and we just gotta come out of our lives and understand the most important thing for us to do right now is help build a nation. That's the most important thing right now.
You know, I ain't gonna never say it'd be hard to build a nation, but so many people need people. A lot of people need people to make them feel whole. And I done seen this.
We ain't calling them kind of people. We only calling the
Yeah,
strong. Yeah,
yeah,
we call.
yeah. I understand.
We here for the
So like,
strong. Yeah, we ain't here
yeah,
for.
I done seen that. It's like people. It's like when my son he went to college. He called me. He said, "Dad, I want to join the Muslim." I said, "Which Muslim?" He said, "The ones with towel hair." I said, "Oh no, boy. Hey, hell no." Now I understand you want to be a part of something. Now you can go learn anything, but Daddy gonna debunk that all the time. You know how I'm coming. So you can go on there and learn, I say, but they at a college. And this college your family went to. One no Muslims never there. So what that tell me? Somebody on something. Cause I ain't stupid.
Oh yeah, yeah, man, they pushing the lies heavily, man, and that's why I say
You
it's
know.
not organized with people like you said. It's like a game. It's like a clique, like a club. You know, that's what religion is, a club. So like you might have a friend a Muslim, and he might tell you something you never heard, and you'll just be join a Muslim because your friend a Muslim, and it sound good. Because most of us are not studying and researching when we join these organizations. Most of us, when we join organizations, we haven't studied and we haven't researched. We just hear, and if it sounds good, we say, well, okay, I'll be a part of it because they got other people that's in it, and they might be cool. You know, that's how a lot of people join organizations. You know, so
Yeah.
that's why they send out recruiters. You know, like when people be out in the corner speaking for these religions, they're recruiting people. But that's just like anything else. They recruiting you to join their club. They not recruiting us to nation build. They not recruiting us to judge the world. You see what I'm saying? They're not recruiting us for that. They recruiting us strictly to join their club. That's every religion.
Yeah.
You
This
know,
is
that's
true.
every religion, man. That's why no religion is doing the work of God because they're not judging the world. They're not bringing justice. They're not fighting for liberty. These things are the works of God. It's not about getting members. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
this is true. But people
but
don't understand that. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like my man Dick Gregory. You know, when I ran up on him, and I had to run up on him on the internet. When I ran up on him, I went to my father. I say, Dad, why you never tell me about Dick Gregory? He said, man, it was a reason. I said, you know what? Say this in the Bible, say that in the Bible. Make a long story short, he said, I never thought you would catch it. I always thought it'd be your sister. I say, you weren't watching. I say, you remember all the time y'all used to have them debates and all that, and I just sit there and let y'all talk, and I wouldn't say nothing. You know, I wouldn't say nothing. I just let y'all sit there and debate, and couldn't nobody ever be right. You weren't watching that I was watching, cause I'm the outside child. And then all the things my mama tell me came out to be true. Not saying my father was a bad man. He was a good father. Good provider. What he could provide. And so it was just like, okay, pops. So let me ask you this about these women. So even though in God's eye you did wrong, but you did so much for the community and these young kids. You did a lot for the kid. But I'm gonna ask you this: you cursed me, didn't you? He said, yeah. And I say, how? He say, with my penis. I say, yeah. I say, I kind of knew that when me and my brother said, we ain't gonna have no outside kids. And guess what we did? We ain't have no outside kids.
yeah, that's what's up, brother, man. Yeah, I appreciate you coming up, brother, man. I'm gonna get back
You
in.
too, bro.
Salute to you, brother.
You too, bro.
All right, peace, peace. What's up? What's up? Peace, peace.
What's up, man? Peace, man. Hey, I got a couple questions, right? Like, look, I was going to this Christian church, right? And and to my understanding, if the pastor, if everybody going to the church, everybody should be thinking the same. That's what I'm thinking. So I asked the pastor, I say, what do that mean when he say uh uh what he say? let's make men in our own image. I asked the pastor that, and he said that God, when he said us, he was talking about Jesus. But then I asked the evangelist the same question, and she said it was the angels. Now, how they get that mixed up and they go to the same church?
Because somebody listening to somebody else. That's why I tell people, let every man be a liar. God was going to use Christ to speak. God was not going to use man and woman to speak unless Christ is present. Now, if Christ is present, God is using man and woman to speak. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what we have to understand. And we don't understand that. We think just because somebody has studied the Bible, they know God. So stuff like that proves studying the Bible don't make you know God.
You sure right.
You
You
know,
sure right, boy.
because like I said, everybody got different interpretations. So which one is the right interpretation?
That's what I was saying, because it was like a mix up. That's how you know, because I be telling people. I just told my mom. I say, man, do you know Christ is here? I say, you know he here in Atlanta. She looking laugh because she's still under that Christian thing. But I'm telling her, I'm like, is it he here? Because I don't think a man, if you truly believe in God, I don't think a man would play like he Christ. Because you know the end of God don't bless mess. He don't do that one. So I don't think a man would even play like that. But you do got people out there that do that. But I'm saying like the end of the road, the bottom line at the end of that rainbow, it ain't gonna be no gold.
Hell no. Shit. Hell no.
It's go man
It's
and
bad for you. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be like people understand, like it's like doing something wrong and they constantly eating you up and you can't even live your life. You might have a big house, you might have a fancy cars, you might have a beautiful wife, you might have beautiful kids, but because of what you did is eating you up, you can't even enjoy it.
can't even get past it. But
Can't
hey,
even
hey,
enjoy
hey, I was just like that, man. Hey, look, that's why I say all praise is due to God in Christ. Cause man, hey, man, 6 years ago, man, I was just a dope fiend, snorting her I don't know if I can say that, but
yeah, because they'll kick us off quick.
yeah, well, I was playing with them things. I'm talking about like everything that's out there, you heard me? Until one day. And you know how people say, man, something just hit me. That wasn't no something hit me. I know what hit me. You hear me? And I've been straight since 6 years, man. Married, house, car, all the stuff that God allowed me to get, I got it. You hear me? I was just waiting on Christ, and here it is. So man, but like you say, you can't be born again in sin. Cause right now I ain't gonna even lie to you. I'm I'm straddling the fence, and I know he don't play that way. He gonna always be with you. He'll never wash his hands with you.
Mhm.
It'll be us washing our hands with him.
You go.
And and just to switch it, that's why I be telling people I'm not no Christian, no Muslim. I done studied all that because I know God said, he said be holy. That's it. He didn't say be Christian. He didn't say be Muslim. He didn't say be none of that. He said be holy. That's it.
There's no law for the righteous.
That's it. Yeah, man. I just wanted to come
Righteous.
up and have a few ticks with you, man, because I ain't talked to you in a minute. I be on your what the brother named Stamp, boy. He be boy. I ain't gonna say he be annihilating them, but boy, he be on point, boy. I'm telling you, he be getting them. And the other dude, Yahoo K Rebel. I've been checking out his songs. I just did a duet with him. Tell him to keep it pushing, man, because
Okay.
what he doing is tight and it's with God, so he can't do nothing but go up.
Mhm. That's what's up, man. Salute, brother, man.
Yeah, right on for having me on, man.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace.
Y'all see that message spread, y'all. Again, bringing the true children of God back to the light, man. That's what this about, y'all. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing more, nothing less, y'all. All right, peace, peace.
Peace.
What's up,
Just
bro?
just got a few questions for you. Mainly just questions about God. You say you Christ. Have you spoken with God?
My God anointed me. So I don't know what you mean by spoken. Like you don't God don't actually speak. God is a spirit that moves the vessel that God is using.
Okay, so when you say God in particular, and you say God is a spirit, so are you a spiritual being?
You know, I'm the one that's hosting. I'm the Lord of hosts. I'm hosting the spirit of the Father.
So God is a spiritual entity, like an energy or a consciousness.
You can say that. Those are kind of words you might want to use. You just have to have the understanding when you use those things. But you can say I rather say an energy than a consciousness. But at the same time, God is thought. But God is the highest thought. And everybody don't attain that highest thought. That come with understanding. That come with sacrifice. And that come with the will to know. So a lot of times we have the will to know, but we don't make the sacrifices to know. That's why the Bible talk about the sacrificial lamb. So all the other things, just tie into like how you tap into the highest thought.
Correct. So that would be like basically through chakras and through sunbathing and just like the Bible say, what you consume and your practices and your energy. Correct. Your positive bringing. Correct.
Sacrifice. Sacrifice is the key, brother. You can sunbathe, you can call on your chakras, you can burn sage, you can hold crystals, you can read the Bible. If you don't have the sacrifice, you won't get it.
So if you make the proper sacrifices, because I am a spiritual man, a spiritual being. That's my beliefs. I believe that beliefs is personal. That everyone has their own belief, and a belief is a belief until it's proven factual. But anyways, another one of my questions is, do you know anything about like the Anunnaki or anything like that?
Correct. Um, those are just simply the people that's gonna birth the nation because they're gonna give the information to bring the rebirth of the mind. Like a lot of people have taken the Anunnaki story in the wrong way, but the Anunnakis are here right now. These are the people that's gonna birth mankind. Just like in the scripture in Genesis where it says, let us make man in our image. Those are the so-called Anunnakis. These are the so-called messengers that give birth to mankind. Not physical birth, but the spiritual birth.
So I've been paying attention and watching you guys for a few months now. I really appreciate just like the other brother said, one of your followers, Zaju Stamps. He's one of the brothers that I go on his his plateau all the time because he's a real respectable individual. He's willing to listen, just like from what I observed from you. You guys are willing to listen, and you guys are willing to have a good debate where you guys are willing to listen to a person express themselves, and you guys express your beliefs and your feelings as well too. One of my things is, like I always say to Stamp and all the other Yaju people, is a belief is very different than truth. A belief is what everyone has, but truth can be proven and proven not to be false. It can be proven to be truth. So my thing about like facts and things that's proven, one thing that I like to say is that no one has ever been able to prove God. Everyone has their own. For now, this is just my perspective and my beliefs, but everyone has their own relationship with God. It's just like what I told Stamps. We all can be in the same movie, but we're gonna all have our own different perspective on that movie, just like the Bible or the Word or whatever you want to call it. We can all read the same thing, but then all have our own different interpretation of it. So my whole thing is, why or how would I take something from what one man said to be truth over what someone else might say, where it's all based off of perspective, because God, relationship with God to me is all based off perspective.
Well, that's why it says the Bible is gonna be fulfilled. So the one that's fulfilling the Bible gonna be able to speak about what he's doing, and that's the manifestation of God's word, the word becoming flesh. So you can see it and hear it, not just hear it. You know, so that's the show and tell. God's word gonna be shown and it's gonna be told to you. You know, and that's why it's two resurrections. Everybody not gonna be a part of the first because everybody can't see and hear what the Spirit is saying. So they gotta wait till the second resurrection when it actually take place. And then everybody gonna know God is real. Because the one that comes in the Father's name, he gonna have the show and tell to bring forth Israel.
Yes, sir. Another one of my questions is, I've been battling. I'm just gonna be real and not sugarcoat anything. I've been really battling with my relationship with God. I used to be a devout Christian. Like I used to read my word at least an hour a day, and then I started to straw away from that and become more of a conscious man. And now I'm more of a spiritual being. But my whole thing was, I never understood, even though I know it's not meant and up to me for understanding, but I struggle with this. Like, what was God's whole purpose of creation, and especially creating us? If God is an omniscience God and a God of everything and of all knowing, then why would God put us in situations where he or she or whatever? Because I don't even like to call God a he, because if it's an entity, or if it's a energy or a consciousness, I don't like to say he or she. But anyways, why would God, being omniscient and knowing all and loving, why did God create us, first of all? And then second of all, why did God create us to be in these situations as human beings? And then basically,
Well, I think a lot of times we put too much on God and we don't take accountability of what our ancestors and what other men have done. So the situation that we are in, God didn't put us in a situation. Mankind did. Through their actions and through their mischief and through their selfishness and through their not knowing, we are in these conditions. But what I do know, I can't say why we was actually what was God's purpose just actually creating us, but I know we was our intent was to be righteous. Our intent was to live and produce life. That's the only thing I know. We are here to produce life, and we're here to be righteous. And that's why nobody is born wanting to hurt somebody. You know, babies are born want to play with one another. You don't find a baby looking at another baby and then want to unalive it. You see what I'm saying? So we was born here to produce life. You know, now, I've been given a lot of people, because people say who I am, or me proclaiming who I am. People want me to ask questions like, I know the first man and woman been born. I can't talk about the first man and woman been born, because that's not what a God anointed me for. I'm only anointed to destroy the devil, to bring life back to the world, because that's what was taken from us. You know, at the end of the day. So what I do know, we here to produce life and to bring forth righteousness. Now, for us, why we was created in the sole beginning, I don't have that answer.
yes, sir, most definitely. So another one of my questions that I have for you, because I always ask a lot of your followers. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous or whatever, but so so you say we're here to produce life and all the other stuff. And if, once again, if God is omniscient and God is all knowing, then it, even with the whole free will thing, even though we still have free will, like you said, we're here to be righteous and all that other stuff. Even with free will, they're just like I said, I'm all over the place. Even going to the word and go back to Genesis and the whole Adam and Eve thing, where, you know, Eve, and I know it's all allegorical and it's all stories and they're all characters and all this. That's just my understanding. That's what I believe. Once again, that's just what I believe. I believe the Bible is a numerical thing, and I believe it's a book for to a person to awake themselves and to be in contact and consciousness with God, so they can have their own personal experience with God. But anyways, God is all knowing and all this other stuff. When God created Adam and then He created Eve, didn't God already know? Even though we have freedom and all this other stuff, because God is all knowing and all seeing, doesn't He already know, or she or them? Doesn't God already know? The entity already knows what's going to take place.
Well, that's why the prophecy was told. That's the you answering the question of why. That's why the prophecy was told and seen by the prophets. For instance, Moses, when Moses got the people out of Egypt, he gave them the blueprint. He said, if you listen to God, you're gonna be lifted up above all nations. You reject God, you're gonna be brought low. So again, God left the world in our hands. It's almost like your mother and father bought you a nice house. If you tied up, it ain't their fault. They bought it, they put you in it, they furnished it, it's paid for, it's yours. It's beautiful. But you go there, invite all your friends over, invite all the neighborhood and everybody from the world to come over, and they tied up. Who fault it is? Your mom and daddy who put you in it? Or is it your fault?
It's the mom and dad who put me in it, if they're all knowing. Because if they're all knowing, then they already know the decisions that's going to be made and going to be done, especially if it's going against what I'm standing for and what I'm saying. So me as a father, I'm not, if I know the outcome of a situation that I can put my kids in, and I know it's going to be detrimental to their health or their future or their relationships or wherever it is, then I'm not going to put them in a situation where it's going to affect their ability to be greater than who they are supposed to be. That's my whole thing. Like,
Like, that's why the Bible say they went against God. Like, your mother and father all knowing, your mother and father say, if you follow these instructions, you're going to have this house forever. And matter of fact, you're going to be able to build more and bigger and much larger than this if you follow these instructions, son. But the instructions your mother and father gave you, you didn't follow. So the house got tore up. You can't put that on your mom and dad. You have to put that on yourself. You see, that's called accountability. Because you got to understand, like, if we don't have free will, if you think about mankind just taking free will away, then everybody's walking the straight and narrow. You wouldn't have the world you have. So free will is given so mankind can have what? Some sort of kingship, some sort of authority. That's why God gave Adam the authority over all animals. That's the gift that you've been given. Now, if you go against your gift of authority, then you become cursed. But that's all up to you. Now, when you come back to God, you remove the curse. It's still up to you. That's the way God set it up. Now, we can say, well, why did God set it up like that? We can always have a why, but that's just the way it's set up. We have that free will. But it's also consequences. You can do, you can be good. You cannot do, and then shit can get bad. That's what happened. And it all fall on us. So when we want happiness, what do? We go back to the Father. And we get happiness. That's the free will that just mankind just have been given.
okay, you know? And so about my ancestors and our ancestors and things of this nature. And once again, it just goes to basically what you just said. It's a why with everything, especially for me, because I'm questioning. I'm trying to seek truth. That's my biggest thing, is like truth. So my biggest thing is from the word is I never understood, once again, going to the whole God thing. If God understood what was going to be the reactions of these people, and I do understand free will once again, but why should me and you and all the other brothers and sisters who was not here pay and for not abstaining what God has told them to do? And then once again, like, how do we even know that that's what God told them what to do? Because from what you are saying and from watching you and your followers is that there was not a Christ back then. So I know I'm all over the place once again. So my question is there multiple Christs being born throughout generations to basically communicate with us? Basically, like you said, using his son to communicate with us. So, for example, after you, will there be another Christ in another 50 years or another 100 years, or anointed Christ that's coming from the Father that's here to speak with us? Has this always been going on?
Well, it won't really have to be another, because the reason why you got the prophesied Christ, but you got other Christ like Moses. Moses was a Christ because Christ means the anointed one. That's all Christ means. Now, my story was prophesied about because of the vision that was shown and the things that was going to take place. That's the only thing separate me from the rest of from Moses or anybody other prophet in the Bible. I wasn't going to come under a priesthood. I was going to strictly be anointed by God. These things happen when mankind reject God and God have to withdraw his spirit. God have to withdraw the truth from the earth. Now the truth is going to always be in the earth. So now the truth just going to be passed down to the next generation and they're going to be raised up accordingly. So they're just going to be a leader. It's going to always be a leader. That's all Christ is, just a leader. You know, but like I say, my story is just a little different because truth is being brought back into the world because it have been taken away for so long. You know, but now the world is finna be in this for everlasting enlightenment. You know, where you're not going to have a mysterious person be chosen by God. Because these truths, these principles, these morals, these conducts is finna be passed down. That's why it says now is finna be God for everlasting kingdom. Because you got to understand, if people want to say Jesus came 2,000 years ago, he couldn't talk to the whole world. He wasn't flying. If he was flying, they wouldn't have put him on the cross. If he had so much power, they wouldn't have put him on the cross. It would have been impossible. So he had to be a regular man if you want to say he came. And I'm just hypothetically speaking. So he couldn't, they didn't have airplanes. He couldn't get on the plane or he couldn't get on television and talk to the world. Now you can do these things. So you're in a whole different world now. So if the truth come back into the world, it's almost like the world can never get rid of the truth right now. And see, this is how lies was able to take over, because when they stole these sacred writings, most of the world didn't even know about the Bible. Majority of the world didn't know about the Bible. They didn't know about these. They wasn't passing out the scrolls back then to the world. So the people that introduced the Bible to the world is the people that run the world and running the world with deception. That's how they able to run the world. And see, a lot of people don't know, like the Romans and Great Britain, they took over after World War II. They weren't ruling the whole world until after World War II. That's when they gained their power. And then they started putting a lot of stuff in play. You know, so again, man, really, you know, at the end of the day, man, it's really you know, what we finna come back to is gonna always be a leader. You're gonna always have other leaders, you know, but at the same time, you're not gonna need something like this again.
So do you agree that there's a major difference between truth and things that is not truth or a lie?
Hell yeah, truth is clarity, man. Truth is stuff you rest assured in. You don't, like Moses and Christ wonder. We all wonder. When you get the truth, it's no more wondering. It's no more wondering. When you get the truth, you at rest
Truth can be proven to be factual, correct?
all the time.
So now, once again, me going back to the word or the Bible, or, you know, whatever an individual wants to call it, how can you use discernment to tell what is the truth and what is a lie when everything is, once again, written from man, and man has their own, from what I said, like I said, just my belief, their own relationship with God. So how does anyone know that anyone is anointed when they are self-proclaimed anointed by God, when everyone has their own relationship with God? Even just listening to you for the last hour, 2 hours, whatever, you know, everyone comes up here and they're giving their own perspective of how they have their own relationship with God. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
Yeah, well, the truth gonna conquer, brother. Like the truth gonna conquer. That's why, you know, the prophesied story is Christ gonna judge the world. He's the conquering lion. So the truth don't fit in. The truth stands out. The truth is clear of error. Now, again, these things gonna be proven through actions, and it's gonna spoken word and it's a manifestation. So the truth gonna speak, and when it speak, it's gonna conquer. Just like light conquers darkness. Like light can remove darkness, but darkness can't remove light. Light gotta withdraw itself for darkness to exist. So you're talking about lies is darkness. Truth is light. So if truth is in the room, darkness cannot exist. So why is darkness in the earth? Because truth haven't been present. But when truth is present, darkness have to leave. And darkness can never overpower light. You can take one candle and it's pitch black. Around that candle, you're going to see an aura of light.
Have you ever heard of a dark hole? Sorry to interrupt you. Have you ever heard of a dark hole in space? Light can and I thought in the word it says out of darkness came light. And if you go into the whole space thing where they say like black matter and a black hole and all this other stuff is actually strong enough to consume light and to eradicate it. But one of my things that I was just want to harbor on really quick was with the whole, once again, me piggybacking back on the truth thing, like truth can be proven to be factual. Like you can prove it where you can't. This should not be able to be debatable anymore because it's a fact, unless you are in some type of idiot. But so now, even going back to the word once again, like none of those characters that was actually in the word can be proven to be factual. Like none of them. Moses, Abraham, John the Baptist, Jesus Christ. None of these characters can be proven to be factual. Like all the human beings that I have been knowing. I'm 40 years old. Has a birthday, has a first and last name, has a place of death, and has all these other things that can prove that these people was actually here, especially.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
because I don't want to cut you off, but because I understand the point you're making.
Yes, sir.
But remember, the Bible is scriptures, right?
Yes, sir.
So what was Denzel's name in Training Day?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I'm not really much of a movie
But
watcher.
so when Denzel got the script was for Denzel. The character wasn't real, right?
Correct.
But Denzel was the actor. Now in the Bible, you got the book of Acts, right?
Correct.
So this what the Bible is, a script for the actors of God. So right now you're gonna have people that's gonna act out the scriptures, which means fulfill them. Not because you're right, these characters are allegory. They are characters, they're not real people. The Bible is not meant to tell you the truth. The Bible is meant to show you what God will do. Just like a script is to show you what will happen in the movie. The script don't act out the movie. The script ain't real until the actor picked up the script and acted out. The Bible not real until Christ picks up the book and act it out. So these characters in the book are just characters to show you what God will do in the last days. So when you read the story of Moses, it's what God gonna do in the last days. It's not about you trying to find Moses. It's about you understanding God gonna what? Anoint somebody from among the people, and they're gonna be able to go to Pharaoh and get the people out of Egypt, which is out of worship. That's what the stories are for. They are not to teach you the truth. But that's what we have been conditioned to think, oh, I'm picking up this Bible, it's God's book, and I'm going to learn the truth. No, it's God's will. The Bible is just God's will. That's why it's a script of what God will do in the last days.
So you said it a little bit earlier, and I just want to be just like for clarification. So do you think individuals, as we spoke earlier, if you do the right things, and because this is me personally, this is what I think the word in the Bible is for. I think it's for each individual to have their own personal relationship with God, to be able to raise themselves to a highest consciousness and a higher frequency, so they are able to be in tune with God. Me personally, I think that's what the story of Jesus Christ is. You have a lot of parallels, like you have the Christ oil, and you have Christ died at the age of 33. We have 33 vertebrae, where if you do everything the correct way as he was trying to teach. Once again, I know it's a character and all that stuff, but once again, if you eat the correct way, if you don't have sex for a certain amount of period and all this other stuff, then your Christ oil will reach the top of your 33rd vertebrae, and then it dies there, like the story of Christ did. And then when it dies there, then it goes into the Trinity. And I know I'm a little nervous, so I can't explain the correct or the proper Trinity right now, but it's the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, and I forgot what other thing it is, but that's the holy Trinity right there. And it's male, female, everything. So when it sparks that, it creates DMT and all this other stuff, and then you reach a higher consciousness, and then you astral project, and then you go into all these different realms and all this other stuff where you would be able to reach and speak to God personally. And how do you feel about things like that? Do you feel as if there's no way that man himself can reach and have a personal relationship without the Christ? Or
Well, you can have a personal relationship, but you can't have the fullness. You don't have, like, when I say you don't have a personal relationship, you just have, because I don't want personal is Christ. Christ get the personal relationship. That's why I have this scripture behind me. Because Christ is the one that make the sacrifice to get the personal relationship. See, you can't get a personal relationship with God without sacrifice. That's why the Bible talk about sacrifices, but we the animals. You see what I'm saying? Like, because before we know the truth, we just wild animals. We just kids. You see what I'm saying? Like, we don't have that true substance of God until we make that sacrifice to get that substance. That's why the Bible say, eat from the sacrificial lamb. Everybody not a sacrificial lamb. You see what I'm saying? So the whole sacrifice in the Bible, this is guidelines and rules to how you get that personal relationship with God. And even in the book, it tells you God set aside certain people to get that personal relationship, because God don't give that personal relationship to everybody. Because you have to be worthy to get these things. Now God can use anybody. God can move anybody. But to get the fullness of God, it comes with a sacrifice. Without the sacrifice, you will never get the fullness. And that fullness is an actual personal relationship. Like Moses. Aaron wasn't Moses, but these are examples to show you how what Aaron got his rod from. Aaron didn't get the rod from God. Aaron got his rod from Moses, who had the personal relationship. Aaron didn't make the sacrifice, Moses did. But Aaron had a relationship, but he didn't have the fullness of God. That came from Moses. That's why Moses had the rod. Same thing with Miriam. Miriam got the rod from Moses. But all this is God art. It's almost like your mom and daddy. Sometimes when the mom and dad have the firstborn, and the firstborn is a responsible firstborn, intelligent firstborn, the firstborn gonna get the rules. And then all the rest of the brothers and children gonna respect the firstborn. Not because, he looked down on them. No, he has a position where he's the lookout for them based off what the mom and daddy is giving. That's the same way God operates. And Christ is just the big brother of the children, who God is operating through to bring forth the blessings. And that's why it says, for every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in things pertaining to God, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifice for sins. So since we've been lied to about the Christ story, we have put the Christ story into this false narrative, because what we was told about Christ ain't real. Christ is a living, chosen man, not somebody that came 2,000 years ago, but we don't know this. So since we think it's somebody that came back then, and there's only one person that came back then, we didn't painted a picture that we wouldn't even have painted if we wasn't lied to about it.
Sorry to interrupt you, but once again, that's all perspective and beliefs, correct? Because I sat and I told you that, and I also tell your followers as well too. I'm a spiritual man. I'm not of the believing or the belief that Christ was an actual entity physically here. Just like I don't believe that all the other characters in the Bible or the Word was actually or physically here. I think the whole story of the Bible is analytical, or it's numerology. It's numbers. Basically, God, to me, God is all knowing, and God is a very powerful entity that's just is going to use different forms of communication. And if God was to use more of a form of communication, I would believe that would be more or less numbers, because numbers is more factual, and numbers is the language in itself. Numbers can be proven to be factual. So well, once again, like back to the whole Jesus thing, like I don't believe that Jesus was an actual character. I believe that Jesus is an allegory of basically saying, like, he even states a whole bunch of things. Like, I used to read my word all the time. It's been a good like 10 years since I haven't read it, but like I still know a lot of it. It basically says that, you know, your body is the temple. God, I mean, Jesus also said that, you know, that you do better works than me, you can be better than me. Also, like, not to praise me, that you can reach the Father through me. Basically saying like being or reciprocating what I've done, just like how I'm doing it, you would be able to have a communication and an understanding and a relationship with God if you do the things and the acts that I have done. If you're
Hold up. Now
yes,
listen
sir.
to what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Christ ain't real, so how could he do acts? How could he say anything if he not real? We gotta see, the lies have us painting false pictures. That's why I said that.
No, it's
Now,
just like, just sorry to interrupt you. It's just like the same thing from like Moses or King David. I would say that this all these individuals say this. I know they're none of them was actually physically here, or like I said, I call them all characters because it's someone that's another human being has written about. You know,
that's what I'm saying. But a character gonna have the actions. Like, if you're gonna say Christ is a character, well, Christ is gonna be a character that's actually played. Like, you can't say it's a character and then turn around saying, well, it's in my this character is now in my mind, because the character of Christ is going to be an actual real person that plays that character that gathers people, like a Peter, like a Thomas. You see what I'm saying? Like a John. So like I say, if that's what you're saying, and you're gonna call these people characters, who are the people that's gonna act the people out? Because everybody want to have Christ consciousness, but what about Peter consciousness? What
yes,
about
sir.
Thomas consciousness?
Yes, sir, but that's not true. A person can write a book, and that the person that writes a book put characters in the novel, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the book comes into live or a movie or a show or anything like that. But they're still characters, and they still didn't physically do any of the acts, even though a human being wrote about or made these characters up. So that's where I completely disagree with you about, and that's more or less.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, and that's cool. So I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
ask you this: well, so why are you comparing the acts and you doing them if it's not real? Because a lot of people perform the same acts that they say was in the scripture, so they can get the divinity of God.
Yes, sir. I can answer your question. And once again, that's more or less me being a spiritual being and having understanding and information and things like that. For example, like chakras and all this other stuff and numerologies and astrology and all these other things where um, people are saying these things because they have had relationships, once again their perspective, their own ordained relationship with a higher entity. And just from my understanding and from my beliefs, it's a way that people are trying to tell you that, hey, if you do these certain things in your life, just like certain drugs, like even the burning of certain wood in the Bible, they will only burn certain wood because it would give you more of a high, so that your pineal gland would access, or smoking a certain drug that have DMT in it, you know, it would.
That's what I'm saying. You can't say that because them characters, so they didn't really perform those acts. That's what you just said. Like, you can't use the acts in the Bible because they wasn't really performed. See, we can't, because you are actually acting out. You are playing the role of certain people in the Bible. Then, if you are doing those things, so that's what I tell you about all the characters. All the characters gonna attach to real people, no matter we like it or not. Like some people are Peter and don't even know it. Some people are Paul's and don't know it, because when they read the Bible about Paul, they either think about he's fake, it's history, and don't understand Paul is a character that you gonna play, or a role that people gonna play at the time when God is with us. You see what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I hear what you're saying, But then you contradicting yourself when you go back and say, well, they did this in the Bible, so that's why I do it because I related to this. But then you turn around and say, well, no, everybody in the Bible is fake and no characters didn't do nothing they said. These characters didn't do nothing. You see what I'm saying? That would be a little more contradictory.
Well, I wasn't necessarily stating that because people in the Bible did it or anything like that. I was more or less referring to more or less the spiritual people that I'm watching nowadays have said or done certain things and they can attest to it. Now, once again, all these spiritual things it still has not really come to a full inclination that once again, that God is a truthful being. I believe in God. I believe that most people believe in God. The only thing that I'm stating is that God has never truly revealed him, herself, or the entity or whatever it is to be truthful. That's my whole thing.
Well, and guess what? The Bible say that. It say for a long time man was going to be without.
Yes, sir.
That's why this is the return of God. So, and see, that's why they go back to what Israel represents. Israel is an end time prophecy of the individuals who God is choosing. They're going to prove to the world God is real because they're going to be born again. Because right now we're in Jacob's trouble. That's why when the prophets talk about Jacob's trouble, well, was Jacob back then or is Jacob in trouble now? So the Jacob that the Bible is talking about is in trouble now. You see what I'm saying? That's a character. That's finna play it. We are in the role of Jacob. But if we don't understand the script and the story of Jacob that Moses was writing about, we think Moses was writing about history. Moses was prophesizing using parables. This is what every prophet did. They prophesized using parables, just like we write rap songs. The same way we write rap songs is the same way the Bible written. And if you don't, a lot of people, especially when we're young, listen to these songs, we love it. We know every word. But we don't understand the song until we get older. So right now, the truth is going to make you mature. The truth is going to wean you from the milk and give you the meat. But that's only for mature people at this time because a lot of people still on their mama titty. So they can't get the meat of things yet because they're not capable of what? Grasping them right now. Until they are much older and then they can move up another level to get the understanding of these writings. And that's why I say it's two resurrections. It's those who hear and see, which will be a part of the first, and it's those who accept it after it's manifested, yes, which is the works that prove God is real. Because right now, the spoken word to some people, that's proof God is real. That's not for everybody though. So the works of God is going to bring full proof to the whole world that God is real based off the works that's about to be done. And that's why I say Christ comes like a what? Thief in the night. You see what I'm saying? Now, we don't know what that means because Christ is a consciousness. Christ ain't real. He came 2,000 years ago. Like, why does Christ come as a thief in the night? Because Christ is a living vessel that God is in, and the world is in darkness, and nobody knows who God is choosing. That's what we in darkness about. We don't know who God gonna choose, but the one who God chooses gonna be taking everything back from the devil. Everything is finna be taken back from the devil. And all this is happening right now at nighttime, just like a thief in the night. Because don't nobody know who God chooses. Like we don't know we don't know, we don't know where the spirit went. We don't know who the spirit went in. We don't know this. Only God knows these things, and it's written in the scriptures. So right now, that's that thief in the night example of why everything is being taken back. That's really what's happening right now. Like I said, everybody playing their role. Everybody is playing their role. And a lot of us don't even know it.
Yes, sir.
And we playing the role of them scriptures we've been reading all our life. But go ahead. I'm listening.
Yes, sir. No, I greatly appreciate your listening and your responses. So what is the devil? And also what was the devil, and is there other individuals like the devil as far as if the creator is the creator or all knowing and all powerful, why did not the God, why doesn't God just immediately just destroy the devil if this entity is causing all these this confusion? Why destroy the people or the entities that you created and not destroy something that's enabling your creation?
Well, you have to understand the devil is an entity like God is an entity. It's the entity of deception. So you have the children devil, just like you have the children of God. Like you don't see God, you don't see the devil. You see God children, you see the devil children. And that's the war. And now it's coming to a time where the world is going to be taken from the devil children and given back over to the children of God. So the devil is just a spirit of deception. It's not really something that you could point out. And that's why you have the children of the devil that carry out the work of deception. You know, just like you have the children of God that carry out the work of righteousness.
Yes, sir. Sorry to interrupt you really quick, but doesn't God allow the devil to do these acts? Like, for example, and I'm sorry to keep cutting you off and all these other things, but a lot of things are just starting to pop up back in my head from, like I said, I used to read my word all the time, like all the time, at least an hour a day. But even just going back, I believe, and sorry, like I said, I haven't read in like almost a decade now, but I believe it was the book of Job. You know, this was one of the reasons why I turned from Christianity, because I feel as if I was like Job. I'm following the word. I'm doing everything in my possibilities to live godly. I stopped listening to certain music. I stopped watching certain things. I stopped consuming certain things as far as eating. I stopped talking a certain way, but I still felt as if I was like Job, where I felt as if I'm my path and my walking is the correct way, but I feel as if the devil was messing with me purposely, and to get all the power, that the devil had to physically go up and seek counsel from God, to be able to mess with this the child of him or God, whatever you want to call it. And God was letting the devil do this. Was a matter of fact, even though that the devil was kicked from heaven and all these other things, the devil still had access to go up and roam and speak and talk to him personally. And you know, that's just where I be confused at a lot. Like it almost to me seems like that God is the devil.
Well, you know, like
Because if God was an entity, just like I'm an entity, I have both. I have good and bad in me.
No, like you gotta think about God could never be the devil, like I said, because God is not the author of confusion. God is not the author of unrighteousness. God is not the author of none of those things. We are the creators of those things.
Yes, sir.
Again, because we was given certain instructions and we didn't keep those instructions, that's when the devil became in control. It's almost like if you don't listen to me, I'm gonna let deception take over. That's almost like if you don't listen to me, you're gonna lose everything. It's another way of saying that. So if you lose everything, then you might call it the devil. The devil took it from you. You can call it what you want, but it's all because you didn't listen. So a lot of stuff is only written down, man, for to teach people or for to show them. It's not, when you get an understanding, devil, all this stuff don't mean nothing once you have understanding. This stuff is written on paper to teach and relate for multitudes of people. That's why I say when you get to the heavenly realm, you don't even use words. It's almost like if anybody plays sports, you don't tell somebody pass me the ball when you're playing sports. You know when to pass the ball. You don't need nobody to say, "Hey man, pass the ball." You know when to throw the alley hoop. Everything is based off motion when you get in heaven. It's not based off words on paper, which are spelling words. So when we read these words, man, and already we have been lied to. We conjure up so many images. When we hear words, it stops us from understanding what it's actually written for. You know, and a lot of these things is not written for the way we look at it. It's not even written. It's just written to show you karma, or what goes around comes around. That's what it's really written for. But you just got stories, you got people to translate these things, and now you have it watered down, and we all confused about it. But at the end of the day, man, that the devil is just a dark force, or it's just something that's unrighteous. It goes against life. So when you go against life, there will be the outcome. It will be you dealing with the devil. It will be you in hell now. You in the lower state. You trying to, it's something you trying to get out of. That's all that's really written for. But I call them trigger words. But trigger words mess the whole mind up. Because I said devil, and whatever you might think the devil is, might block the hearing of what you hearing them actually trying to reveal. So again, the devil is just the other side of wrong. It's the other side of right. It's not that God is there, but if you reject God, you're gonna get the other side of things, which will be the devil.
So do you believe that God created all individuals, or do you believe that there was different entities that created different entities as well? Like, for example, the white man has not been here for longer than maybe 4,000 years, but the black man has been here for, let's say, 1,000,000 years or whatever. Do you who created or what created the white man?
Now, what I done learned, we can't say that, because what was the first animal?
No,
Was it the bird? Was it the fish? Was it the lion? What was the first animal?
No one knows, sir.
So nobody knows who was the first man. God could have made all kind of men. God could have made a white man, a black man, and all. God could have did. He did it with animals. What was the first tree? You got all kind of fruit trees. You see what I'm saying? So when I look at God's creation, and I learned the stuff we was told, we got to throw it away. A lot of that shit is bullshit, man. Don't nobody know. If you don't know what was the first animal, you don't know who the hell was the first man.
You don't.
You see what I'm saying? That's called emotional talk. Because if I know it's different trees, different fruit trees, different herbs, different animals, different people, well then, shit, God could have made the black man, God could have made the white man. It's God. So I'm saying, I don't, and like I say, I can't really say nothing because I wasn't there. And I wasn't anointed to know those things. Like, God ain't anointed me for me to know none of those things. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't know how people know it. And really, they don't know. You see what I'm saying? Because if you know God created the first man 1,000,000 years ago, you damn sure know what was the first animal. Mm-hmm. But if you can't tell me when was the first animal and what kind of animal, because it's all kind of animals. You got the bird, you got the fish, you got the lizard, you got the mammal. You see what I'm saying? So which one came first? They all different. But they all part of creation. They all breathe. So that's why I say a lot of stuff is, man, just to have you in a puffed up mind frame, and you really can't humble ourselves. Like, we got to get back to living, man. All men trade with men. All men have certain talents that they're good at. So if we got that kind of mind and we know, well, I don't need to hurt the man. I need to find out how I can build with the man. The man can help me out. I can help them. And see, that's what we do for the white man now. You know how much we help the white man out? Because you know what the white man can do? Sit back and think, how can I use this man to benefit me?
Correct.
Who created the NFL? Who created basketball? We don't own none of it. Who own it though? Who benefited? Who benefit off African resources right now? I got to tell people, let's just talk about chocolate. Mm-hmm. You know how much Hershey make off chocolate?
Probably,
you know what?
Probably $1 billion+.
Like, the most chocolate come from Africa.
Yes, sir.
What we doing? Talking about Jesus coming back. Talking about he ain't real. We talking about so many things, man. We really need to be nation building right now because we have a lot of great minds. And that's the only way we take back what's rightfully ours. Whether we want to say America is ours or whether we want to say Africa is ours, We cannot take none of this stuff back until we build the nation. And that's why I have really shortened my conversations when it comes to the Bible, man. Because like I said, I done prove all things when it comes to the Bible. It ain't to be, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm speaking off my works. I have proven so much when it comes to the Bible. It ought to be a crime. I should be locked up for the things I've proven when it comes to the Bible. You know, and I know the Bible not for everybody. The Bible tells us this. So right now, it's a really a perfect time for us to nation build. It's really a perfect time to nation build. Because when it comes to the Bible is a tool that's going to release us from deception. But it's only through the manifestation of the Bible. It's not through the teaching of the Bible. Only the manifest, because you know how we is, show me.
Yes, sir.
Show me. That's what we want. Show me. So nation building is the most important thing right now, man. You know, we're going to go in circles a lot of times when it comes to the scriptures. But we must understand we can build a nation. It's our job to build a nation. You know, and those are the conversations we really got to get into for those who understand what time it is. Like, we done all been through journeys, man. You see what I'm saying? And we all coming to this one thought right now of what do we do next? Everybody should like, what do we do next? Okay, I came out of Christianity. I read the Bible. I got my Kundalini. I burned the stage. I played with the rocks. I read the tarot cards. What's next? Because we can make money. Money, you can make money now. 6 figures is, you can go. It's so easy to get 6 figures right now. It's almost like they're giving it to us. So what's next? A nation. That's what's next, because that's what's going to sustain us. That's what's going to produce the future. You know, and I know it's a lot of questions that we won't answer because we was lied to. But the question's going to get answered once the nation is built, because that's when people going to start opening up their ears. You know, a lot of people, we almost like rape victims. We traumatize because they have what? I don't know if I can say that word on TikTok, but they have misused our minds. That's why I called it
mind
art.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to our minds, it's almost like when somebody has been traumatized like that, you can't touch them. They scary. So a lot of people can't be touched with the truth because of what the lie have done.
Yes, sir.
You know? So it's very hard to talk to people's minds because of those, you know, conditions.
Yes, sir. So basically back to what I was stating was speaking to Yahweh Stamps and the warrior for the niggas kingdom or whatever. You know, I kind of always get into it with the warrior for niggas kingdom because he's a little aggressive versus Stamp Judah is not. And basically once I come on their platform, whatever, I tell them all the time, you know, like as far as the spiritual thing, that's where we kind of see a difference. That's where, you know, more or less I like the Yahweh Stamps guy because he's willing to listen just like you. But what I say is, you know, my spirit called me to listen to you guys because I feel as if I'm here. I don't want to say ordained by God or any of that stuff, but I feel as if my mission on this planet is for my brothers and sisters to become better than who we are and what we're going through right now. That's why I really love and stand with you guys. Now, the spiritual thing is a little bit different, but as far as like the nation building, like I'm in arms with you guys. That's I feel as if that's what my calling is. I feel as if my people is in a terrible state right now, has been in a terrible state for a long time, but it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I'm the type of person who I take accountability very, very strong. I don't like to put what's going on with me and my other people on nobody else but what we're doing to ourselves. The biggest thing that we're doing to ourselves is we don't take accountability at all is just our neighborhoods. And due to lack of us loving our own neighborhoods, we don't even have a community anymore. And that's so detrimental to me, because without a neighborhood or a community or the history of who we are, then we're just continuing on being lost, and we're losing more and more and more. And now the parents are becoming younger and younger and younger, and the grandparents are becoming younger and younger and younger. And the things that we used to stand on as a community and as a blackness, we're losing it. We're just losing it. A lot of things that you used to hear happening in the world, you would say, and I don't want to be flagged or anything like that, but you would say, oh, I know that's a person thing, because black people, we don't do stuff like that. Now it's more or less becoming like, oh, even black people are doing things like this, and it's so detrimental. But now back to my point is, how can we as a nation build and build and build, and what are we going to go to? Because in prior years and prior generations, we did have individuals that was trying to build us up and get us back to our greatness and back to where we belong. The Black Panther parties and all these other things, Oklahoma and all these other things. But when we do get to these things and these positions of power, where we feel as if we are starting to overcome and just gain our consciousness back, just simple consciousness and live in righteousness, just plain basic righteousness. It seems like the government always, or the United Nations, or whoever in this globe, always wants to take it over from us and put us back in a lower state of being. So my question is, to sum it up, is if you are able to help us get to a point where we're starting to raise our conscience and starting to do better, what do you think is going to be different, that's going to separate us, and that they're going to allow us to do these things, to reunite and be family people again, where 70% is not a one parent home, where maybe it turns into 70% going back to us being a 2-parent home, and us raising our kids in righteousness and all this other stuff, and us off drugs and soliciting and murdering each other and doing all these things. Like, that's what I want. But yes, sir.
Until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Father. None of these people that we look up to has came in the name of the Father. They came doing great. Now, some of these people had great works. I don't take away from anybody that walked the road of liberating all people, because I walked the road myself, so I know what kind of journey it is.
Yes, sir.
So I don't want to get people to think that I'm sweeping their work under the rug. I'm not doing that. But none of these people came in the name of the Father. None of these people restored the throne of David. The throne of David is our jurisdiction and our way out of all the mess we are in. Nobody knows about it, but everybody reads the Bible. And if you read the Bible and you don't know about the throne of David, you miss the whole book. The whole book you miss. Now, the throne of David is a real throne. Matter of fact, when some of the people that were representing the throne came over here from Ethiopia, the black people was amazed at how all the people was respecting them. We don't know about these stories. We think the throne of David is a fairy tale throne that never existed. It was here all the way up until the 1950s. No, 1970s. The throne was here. Now, but a lot of people don't understand our history, so we don't have no reverence to the throne. We don't even know what it really means to the game that we in, because they playing a game with us. And it's the Game of Thrones. So when you ask African people, where's the African throne? They don't know. Where's England throne? Everybody knows. And you know who gave us the book? England. They gave us the book. So that's why I say, when I hear people talking, man, we really have to start humbling ourselves. Because everybody say they know the book and nobody knows about the throne. It's an everlasting throne throughout all generations. That's what the book says. Nobody talks about it. This is what's going to liberate our people, the throne of David. And the one who's going to sit on here, if you don't say he's blessed, blessed is him who comes in the name of the Father, you won't see it. Everybody going to see it the second time. Everybody's not going to see the first. And these things are happening as we speak. But they are happening what? Like a thief in the night. They are not happening like a man gonna crack the sky and everybody looking. That's not how it's happening. It's happening just like it's supposed to and just like it was written. You know, and like I said, the throne of David is our everything right now. Just like what does Barry White? You are my everything. That throne of David is our everything right now, and we know nothing about it.
So can you explain a little bit of the throne of David and how was it why and how was the throne of David overturned in the 70s that you say?
Well, I would say it was overturned way longer than that, but it was overturned because Haile Selassie was the last man to sit on the throne. But Haile Selassie was kind of in cahoots with Great Britain, so it was almost like he wasn't on the throne. He was sitting on it, but he wasn't really on it because of all the stuff in wars, all the stuff that happened before he even got on the throne. You know, and see, these are these people behind me. These are other governors and other kings, and some of them even like Queen Zatu, she sat on the throne. Tedros, Menelik. So this is a King of Kings throne that gives you authority over all the kings. So Great Britain is the people that took over this throne. That's why they have authority over the world right now. That's why they have jurisdiction. That's why they did things in the name of Christianity. Because of the throne that they was taking over. This is what World War II and World War I was about. Removing the throne in Africa. World War I and World War II was both East African campaigns.
Can you explain a little bit? Can you explain a little bit more in detail about that?
Like you in the 1800s, you had the European colonists entering Africa.
Yes, sir.
Now, when they found out about the throne and the sacred writings that came from Ethiopia, they was very intrigued. So they started sending all kind of what would I call them? People, journalists. They started sending all kind of journalists into Africa to find out about these sacred writings, which is the Bible. When they found out about the sacred writings, and they found out, well, hold up, if this is true, we need to get this. If this is true. So that's when they began to what? Scramble for Africa. So years and years go on. You got the Berlin Conference, I think, what, in 1898? Something like that. You got the Berlin Conference where you got all the heads of European nations. They all come together to get Africa. Mainly the East Africa, where the East Stros came from and where this throne is at. So you had a great king at that time, which was Menelik. He had a great army. That's why I call him a great king. He made a lot of bad decisions, but he had a great army. Because he had Muhammad Ali. This is a man named Muhammad Ali right here. We know about the boxers, but we don't know about the king Muhammad Ali. That's a damn shame, huh? And he died in 1919. So him and Menelik had this great army. They had like hundreds of thousands of men that they command. So in 1913, Menelik passed away. 1914, World War I kicked off. Because at that time, the European colonists have made friends with a lot of Africans at that time. See, that's what we don't understand. A lot of Africans was friends with Great Britain and the European colonies that was in America. They wasn't beefing; they were friends with them. But the European nations began to fight with one another. Berlin, Great Britain, and Germany, and Italian. They begin to fight for Africa. They like, no, I'm getting it. No, I'm getting it. No, I'm getting it. It's mine and mine and mine. Like some brothers. That's what kicked off World War I. So I think Berlin, Great Britain, and I want to say Italian, they joined forces, and Germany, and I think it might have been Russia or somebody, they joined forces. That's what created World War I. They was fighting to gain control of East Africa. Nobody knows this. But if you look it up, World War I was an East African campaign. World War II was the finishing of the East African campaign when Great Britain won East Africa. And that's why King Charles is labeled the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, because he is sitting on David's throne that comes from Africa. Now, this is why we are going to be able to judge Great Britain, because they are sitting on the throne that's not theirs. So, but
Sorry to interrupt you really quick. How did they obtain my whole question is how did they obtain the throne or the kingship of David without there being a fight, and especially without an understanding of us people knowing that we're from the throne of David and not participating? So did the Ethiopian kingship sell us out?
that's why I told you Haile Selassie, the last person that was on the throne, he was in cahoots with Great Britain because of what Great Britain had done for him. So he gave them the greatest gift of the solid-minded gift. He gave them the highest authority of the throne. So when he passed away, they automatically got what? The rightful kingship.
Yes, sir. So now my
So
questions
basically,
is I got a million questions because man, you be so informative, and I'll be looking for counsel like this. So I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, but okay. So you're basically saying that the emperors, the kings of the kings, the kings of the David throne. Now, shouldn't they have a understanding, and not only an understanding, but wouldn't they also have a relationship and a knowing of God, and knowing what they are doing, and the extremes of what they're going through, and the extremes that they're going to put their ordained people through?
well, that's why the Bible says those who sit on David's throne did evil in the eyes of God. That's why we're in this condition. Our forefathers went against God. So just because they was kings and just because they was on the throne, that don't mean they was connected to God. Even the Bible verifies that.
Okay.
You know, that's why I say David can't build my house. You got blood on your hand. So God was going to choose a descendant of David. That's why Christ is the seed of David. You know, that's the whole prophetic vision. You know, David had blood on his hands, so he couldn't build the Father house because of his actions, because of what he have done. Now David represents the leader and the kings of the people. David don't represent a person that came in history. It just represents the leader at that time. That's why it's called Solomon-minded dynasty, or David's throne. You know, so the story just showing you how these people, they didn't listen to God, they didn't obey God, they didn't follow God's rules, so they lost what God has set up for them. And now it talks about how the descendants gonna come, the rightful ones, and take it back. The same thing with Abraham's story in Genesis, where it says, the nation who the descendants serve, I will judge. And they will come out with what? Great possessions. Mm-hmm. So we don't understand how many, like, if we truly understood what's on the table right now, we'll do the remedy. We'll pay our dues and we'll be running to God. Or we not doing the Deuteronomy right now because we can't see, we can't hear, and we don't have the understanding of what's really on the other side. We don't know. And that's why I don't get up here and get mad, because I know we don't know. So, but like I said, we might get frustrated at those who don't want to listen, because what do we know? We know you don't know.
But don't they know their history though? Like especially if they're kings, wouldn't that's just like, say for example, like, okay, I personally don't know a lot of my history, a lot of my ancestral history, but yet I still can go. I can start with I'm the youngest, so I can start with going to my oldest sister, and I can say, hey, what do you know about mom and dad? And then I can piggyback off of her, and I can go to my mom and dad and say, hey, how was your upbringing? How was grandma and granddad? What was their life like? Then I can also go to my grandparents that's still living and say, hey, how was your life, and how was your upbringing, and how was your mom and your dad, and how was their parents? And so on and so forth, where that is continuously being passed down, especially if it's something being passed down from God, because God's word should be everything. God's word should be the most important thing that there is, especially if God wants you to live in righteousness and live and obey God's commandments and laws, that you would think that these things would be passed down, and people. Yes, sir.
I'm saying that's what you gotta understand. Like a lot of people did evil, so we wasn't connected. So we lost a lot of things because we wasn't connected.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? Like if we was doing right, these things would have been passed down. But you gotta understand, like when bad stuff happened, a lot of parents hide it from their kids. Like how many parents gonna tell their kids about the trauma that happened in their past? So we coming from a lot of trauma, so a lot of stuff is hidden from us. They don't want to tell us. They feel we don't need to know. You know. So like I say, man, we gotta understand that our king, and we have to understand we are the chosen generation. We are the special generation that the scriptures is talking about. That's another thing we don't know. They got us reading the book and looking at special people as if the special people was in the past. But what do the book say when Christ said, prophets yearn to be in the time that you are in right now, to hear the things that you are hearing. So we are that special generation. And these are things we don't know. So that's why I say we are not picking up. How would I say it? We are not attacking the situation like we should attack if we knew how special we were. You know what I'm saying? We not like a lot of people say, man, we can't rule the world.
Yes, we can.
But I'm saying a lot of us will say we can't. But then we gonna rule the world, our conversation's gonna have to change. Because the people who rule the world, they ruling the world. You see what I'm saying? They are actually like Great Britain, they own the islands, they own Africa, they own shit down there, everything. So if we are the gods, we are the kings, we are the all this, what are we gonna do? So right now, if Great Britain running the world, we have to judge Great Britain. We have to judge the Roman Catholic Church. They got the world.
Yes, sir.
So if anybody can give something over to us, I was just want to say this. If anybody gonna give something over to us, it's gonna have to be Great Britain. Because they got it all.
But they got those things off of us signing things away, though, right? It's like you have to sign you have to sign your property, you have to sign your soul, you have to sign your stickman and all this other stuff over. It has to be, all these things have to be written down. That's what they operate off this in this universe is things have to be written down for them to oblige it. That's what I was understanding then. But my question was, I don't know if you're a father or not, but as a father, just like God proclaims to be the father of all, I'm a father of 3 boys. One thing that I try not to do, my hardest I try not to do is I try not to punish my boys for things that they are ignorant of. Now, do I school them and do I teach them and do I coach them to be informed, especially if they're not informed of certain things? I do. But going back to what I was saying then, how can God punish us for things that we are ignorant to and things that have not been passed down to? Like how am I and how are you responsible for the 4 acts of our ancestors and they didn't know themselves? So what would make us do or be even better if no one knows?
So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't call it punishment. I call it what you got to go through. That's like if a child is born into the world, whatever the child go through is based off the parents. Now some people call that punishment. But some people look back on everything they've been through. You might have called it punishment at the time you was going through it, but it would have made you the person you is right now. So sometimes people go through things not for a punishment. It's so they can be a better person at the time, situations come in the world. So just because something happened to you, like we put bad on it. We put these curse words on it, bad and good. But sometimes stuff just ain't really bad and good. It's something that has to happen so you can be that person you need to be.
Correct.
Correct. So like I said, these spelling words got us really not accepting again life. Spell words got a curse on our mind when they come to life. It got us really, like you said earlier, not taking accountability because of spell words. But right now, man, life is not for the weak. Even in nature, life ain't for the weak. How you got here. They say it was a million sperms released. Only one of them cracked the egg. And that was the strongest. You know, so we have that saying, "Only the strong survive." You know, so like I say, man, I know I don't have all the answers, but I got the answers that's gonna redeem us. I got those answers, and I know our redemption comes through us unifying and bringing judgment to the world with the majesty and the word of God, which is spoken and not written.
Yes, sir.
You know.
You said something yesterday. Like I said, I watch y'all all the time, man. It's my spirit is really calling me towards you guys because of the leadership and the nation building that you guys are trying to do. And like I state, that's why I feel as if I'm on this realm to do is to help my people. I'm kind of depleted right now because I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I live in the ghetto. I live in the worst the worst zip code that there is in Milwaukee, and I live in the hood, and it's disgusting to me just how we treat our neighborhood, how we treat each other, and the things that we doing, all these other things, and man, I just really just applaud you and you guys for what y'all trying to do because it's hard, man, and it's a fight, and I just want to commend you guys for being strong and keep doing what y'all are doing. Um, I had something to say, but my mind is. Oh yeah. Yesterday I was watching your live, and you really hit me up to some game yesterday, and man, it just had the biggest smile on. It put the biggest smile on my face yesterday. When yesterday, I don't know if you remember, but it was just yesterday, literally on live. He was speaking to a brother, and of course, and one of the things that you said is, you know, to this day we still speak Hebrew, and then you went into the explanation of Hebrew, and basically, it's not what you said verbatim, but it's just my perspective. You know, you basically to me how I understood it is that Hebrew is jive talk, like what we do amongst each other though. So somebody on the outside that might not be or can relate to me and my people, they might not know what the F I'm talking about. But the person that I'm talking to directly and that come from my environment and have my understanding, they know exactly what I mean. And it was kind of crazy a little bit because you went into like a explanation of it yesterday, and then the brother kind of cut you off, and I seen you kind of smile a little bit because I see at first you was a little bit frustrated because he didn't let you finish what you were saying, but he interrupted you and he said exactly what you was trying to explain, and then you started smiling like, okay, see, okay, so man, I watch every time that I get the opportunity. I'm not at work, my free time, man. I'm taking into you guys. Like I'm really watching you guys. I commend y'all. Like I said, now as far as like the spiritual thing, everyone always gonna have their eyes. Like nothing's ever gonna be perfect. Even in a loving relationship with your wife, your husband, your kids, everyone there's always gonna be difference of opinion. But the most important thing, like you guys are trying to say, is for us to build off of that. And
Right.
I just really want to commend you, brother, for you getting on the internet every mother effing day, bro, and you fighting, bro, because I watch you all the time, bro. I watch y'all all the time, and y'all doing a lot of battling, bro. And I just, especially you and like I said, Stamps Judah, y'all Jew rather, man, I really commend y'all and the sister that you with all the time for y'all actually listening and not becoming offensive like a brother Warriors from the niggas king. He gets upset and it's hard to convey with him. But like man, with y'all, bro, y'all are going to attain a lot more followers. Like I tell stamps all the time, by y'all being able to have differences, but you guys still willing to listen. Like that's the biggest thing because uh, like y'all be saying, man, we're raised and we're indoctrinated by a lot of things that we have to unlearn again and we have to learn again. So there's going to be a lot of pushback. And man, I just love how you guys stay composed. Sometimes y'all get frustrated, but y'all never get offensive. Man, I really appreciate that, brother. Like I really do, brother. And I thank you for your time and your platform. And hopefully you invite me back up again where my mind is not all over the place, brother. I greatly appreciate you.
All right, man. Well, much respect, brother, man. Much respect. Salute to you.
Most definitely. Hopefully you'll see me in the future and we will be fighting for the same thing.
Likewise, brother. That's what I hope for, man. Peace.
Most definitely. Love and peace to you, brother.
Likewise. Likewise.
Most definitely. Have a good one.
I think that's gonna be my last guest right here, y'all. We got some pretty sunshine outside. It's a little cold, but it's some pretty sunshine, man.
Hey,
What's up, brother? Peace, peace.
you can't be born a God of sin. That's what I heard. So I believe that.
Talk to me. What you think about that? What you think about being born of God and still sinning?
Shoot, you can't be born a God of sin.
What you
Can't.
saying?
Yep.
You believe that, or is that true, or is that false?
That's for real.
Okay.
It's true.
What you got some questions for me?
No.
Yeah, no. So what was your purpose of coming up?
You can't be a God. My purpose was to say that.
What's the what?
I was gonna say that.
I ain't hear you, brother.
Was me gonna you hear me to go ahead to say that.
Say what?
Didn't do what I just said. Didn't do what I just got done saying that. About 2 minutes ago.
Well, brother, man, like I said, I was kind of winding down anyway, man. So I'm probably about to jump off here, man. I've been on here kind of all morning, so it's Saturday.
Alright.
Well, we ain't got no questions, brother. I'm gonna kind of jump off. All right, man. Peace, peace.
Peace.